So this week we're talking snacking, and we're also discussing your questions. So I'm sure you saw the poll. I'll share it once more now I've got everything functioning properly. 93 people snack on dairy. I'll leave the sharing out. I'll just get on with it. 89 votes protein, 42 votes fruit, 9 votes for I snack all day, 8 votes for carbs, 7 votes for sweets like chocolates and lollies. 5 people ate vegetables, celery sticks, carrots, etc. And 4 votes said, no, I don't snack at all. So that's good. There's a range of different, and the top 2 were dairy and protein. So I'm pretty happy. And the 3rd vote was fruit. So that's also a good snack. So you've probably heard us talk a lot about protein and also snacking on foods that are protein rich. And you'll find on our website, on the BN Multi website, you'll find under bariatric recipes, there's another tab that's called free downloads. And in there, we've created a whole book full of healthy, high protein snacks and kind of treats, like things that you feel like you're having a treat, but it's actually quite good for you. So in moderation, those things are really applicable in your daily food intake. So you could check that one out. If you're stuck on ideas for snacking, which sometimes overall food, we kind of run out of ideas and get tired of doing the same thing all the time. But very happy to see that dairy and protein are up the top of the list, because also we classify that dairy has a good level of protein in it. Also some good nutrition, unless you've got, you know, reasons that you're eliminating dairy that are more kind of allergy based and intolerance and that sort of thing. It is a solid option for maintaining your protein needs. So snacking is something that's talked about, and a lot of people are not sure what to do with it. And hunger is also something that we talk about, and a lot of people aren't sure what to do with that either. So I was saying to myself earlier, before I knew that no one could hear me, I was saying that there's my comments. I was saying how snacking on protein will level out your blood glucose levels throughout the day. So ideally what you're looking for is a nice even blood glucose level. And the reason for that is that when glucose is on the scene, so if you're snacking on, I'll give you 2 scenarios. If you're snacking on a nice boiled egg and that's got some protein and some fat in it, and then you compare the result on your blood glucose levels with a pie or a piece of cake, the protein is always going to be the winner as far as not dumping sugars into the bloodstream. And then the end shoot of that is that insulin gets released to distribute the glucose into the cells in the body. So for fat loss, we're looking at low blood glucose and low insulin, because when insulin is on the scene, it's impossible for fat loss to happen. So this is what the low GI high protein diet is all about, is keeping your blood glucose levels even. The other thing is, when you've got insulin on the scene, you've got rampant hunger normally. And it's not always immediate. It's like if you have a brekkie, and they did a study on this, which is really interesting. They did a study on a group who did the same thing for 2 weeks. They had boiled eggs or scrambled eggs or whatever, high protein breakfast. Then they had a group who did also, and more than the 3rd week, they had like a higher carbohydrate content in their breakfast. And then the next round they did like a Nutrigrain and skim milk, you know, number with maybe some cereal of some sort thrown in there. So very low protein. What they found was the 3rd group throughout the day ate up to 80% more calories than the group at the beginning who just had the protein brekkie. So the other research I've seen is that high protein breakfast starts the day well and also helps with fat loss for varying reasons, but also I think the weight loss was about 25% more than if they ate a carbohydrate rich brekkie. So start the day with some good protein and a little bit of fat, like full cream milk, that sort of thing. Don't be scared of eating fat. It's actually more that for cholesterol levels anyway, they're finding now that it's more the sugars that are doing all of that and driving. It's the combination of this high carb processed diet that's driving cholesterol rather than animal products on their own. So it's a kind of a gathering of different drivers in that regard. But looking at protein snacking, that's ideally what you're doing is you're staving off hunger, or that really fast, quick hit hunger that you just kind of ameliorate with anything that's handy. That's when the wheels fall off, is when you've had a carby brekkie and then you don't get time to eat, and you might have a coffee. And then by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're just like, I just could eat anything. That's where it all goes awry. So don't be scared of snacking, because if you are more active than you've ever been, you will need sustenance. The other reason you'll need snacks is because your meals are so small. So the after effects of bariatric surgery, leaving you with such a small space to put in everything you need for the day, it does mean that things will leak out to being snacked on. What you really want to avoid is grazing. So there's a difference between snacking and grazing. Snacking is obviously, you have snacking between meals. Grazing is when you're not having a solid meal. You're just kind of eating kind of whatever happens and comes your way, and you're eating it with irregular patterns. Ideally, we stick with 3 really good meals that will sustain us for a couple of hours at least. And then if you're hungry, have a snack. Don't get caught up in that idea that you need to snack because it's 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or whatever it is, 11 a.m. or snack if you're hungry. If you're not hungry, don't snack. And ideally, the longer we can leave that break in between meals and then have a substantial, nutritious, protein-rich, good fats meal, that's when you're going to find that your blood glucose will level out and your whole metabolism will, settle down basically and work in your favor. So it's what you put in the morning, and then it's what you do throughout the day that will help or hinder you, I suppose. And so I'm happy to see that people are eating nuts, jerky, and protein balls. Great solutions, because they've all got their own benefits nutritionally. Just watch protein balls. I like it if you make your own. It's not hard to do. It's just you need the ingredients on hand and a good blitzer. A lot of the protein balls you buy will be labeled protein ball, but they're dates with a few nuts in them, and dates will just spike up glucose really quickly. So if you're buying your protein balls, check the ingredients list, and if dates are first, I would stay away from it, unless you're having a day after exercise, or it's you're an active person. It's more because it's mostly dates if it's the first ingredient on the ingredients list. So fruit is not offensive as a snack. It's actually a good little thing to do. Sometimes if you put, like here we've got apple, banana, grapes, etc. But apple's great with some peanut butter on it, or even a normal almond butter or something like that, and that'll give you the protein mix. Or apple with just a little bit of cheese, or dress it up with something that's a bit more solid. So the other thing that will slow down this glycemic index I keep talking about is pairing foods together that are, so fruit, for instance, pair it with some cheese or a little bit of fat of some sort, or some protein, because that will slow down those fruit sugars as well, and it adds to that slow burn rather than a quick hit of sugar. 9 people said they snack all day, and that can happen. And that's often when carbs have snuck back into the diet as a major player. So if you're finding that you're grazing and you're hungry all the time and you're just kind of eating whatever's going, just start with that breakfast to begin with. Change up brekkie and make sure it's really rich in protein and some healthy fats. And then see what happens, and you'll find that you're probably stretching out between meals a little bit longer and not needing those quick hit sugar fixes. Stress will do it too, and your environment. So some people work in an environment where they're surrounded by people bringing food into work and that sort of stuff, and that's often a tricky one to manage. But it's also up to your creativity to come up with methods of avoiding that kind of you know, office party kind of every week, someone's birthday. If you work in a big environment, there's always something happening, and it's usually related to food. So yeah, looking at sweets, chocolates, lollies, and often you'll find that you want different things depending on what's going on. So sometimes sweets and lollies and that sort of stuff will sneak in for stress or, you know, time of the month for some women who, and your energy requirements go up at that time of the month by up to 500 calories a day. So there's no wonder we're craving something, but it's making sure you're prepared and you've got something on hand that is helpful, as well as satisfying. So snacking is not a bad thing to do, but it's something that we save for when you're hungry, and we really make sure that you're having those 3 substantial meals each day, just to make sure that you are meeting your protein needs and that sort of thing. So I've got all sorts of noise going on here. And also looking at the comments, it was really helpful to have everyone kind of, I think these polls are a really great way of finding out about each other and what you're doing, but also just giving that a few tips. Cheese and apple, like I said, Sandy said cheese and apple's a yummy snack. I do. Celery and a little bit of peanut butter is another. Nuts I do, but I don't do sweets like protein balls. So everyone's different. An apple and a spoon of peanut butter is a pretty popular one. Corey said that one as well. Twiggy sticks, salami and cheese, they're a good option. The Twiggy sticks are good. They're low GI. A lot of the keto people will use them. They're really salty and that's why they're yummy. And they are fatty, but you know, that's what keeps you full as well. So I would use those, but with caution if it's all the time. Nut bars are good depending on what they're stuck together with. So have a look at whether it's a nut bar and the first ingredients is nuts and the second one is like sesame seeds and then the third ingredient is glucose syrup. So those kind of things, I'll encourage you to kind of look around and maybe make your own, or just make sure that you are snacking smart. So then Deborah said, if I'm peckish, I find that my go-to snacks are a cold boiled egg. I love that for a snack. I think that's a great option. It's got so much to give. And I think eggs have been, you know, on the no list for so long, and there's just so much more research coming out. There's nothing wrong with a good chook egg. Small piece of fruit and a tin of tuna or salmon, great snacks. And these have all got the healthy fats in them and the protein and that sort of thing. Salmon, or I like salmon on little tomato circles. You can just cut a Roma tomato into slices and just pop salmon on the top of it and eat it like a biscuit. The other thing that's nice is those biscuits that are pretty much just seeds all stuck together, and you can get them at Woolies and places like that, and they're gluten-free and they've got some good nutrition in it. The nuts and seeds are high in protein, but they've also got like zinc and magnesium and that sort of stuff as well, so there's nothing wrong with a good seed. Deborah also says she has occasional treat is a tiny cupcake or muffin. And I normally have these if I'm feeling lightheaded. 2 of you said you do get lightheaded. So it's obviously when glucose does drop and you're, you know, running on empty. So that's a great time to have prevented that in some ways. Sometimes it will just happen because that's how we're geared these days. But looking at, you know, your meals and making them sort of high in protein and substantial enough that they're going to get you through to the next one. I'm nearly 2 years post-op and I still take my protein powder once a day and my BN multivitamins. Yay! With plenty of fluid, and I still tend to eat my protein first. That's a key, and thank you for saying that, Deborah, because there's a few reasons that we eat protein first, particularly after weight loss surgery. Eat protein first, and I said this last week, to put the plug in the bath pretty much, so your protein goes in and then it keeps your carbs from going down and getting digested too quickly. So it will also, that will help with preventing any dumping syndrome and that sort of thing. But it also, when you eat your protein first, it's a message to your body and it's a message to your pancreas to say, I don't need you to give me too much glucose, or I don't need you to give me too much insulin at the moment. So pancreas, be quiet. So then your the effect of that meal on your blood glucose levels is not so intense. Good work. That's a good couple of years down the track, and you're really still sticking to the rules. And they are rules. And I think that's something that we forget, is that the first year we're setting ourselves up with these ways of eating that aren't just for the first year. They're setting you up for when hunger returns. And that's why they're quite key in that first 12 to 18 months. Then Tiana said, I'm only 2.5 weeks post-op, but I can't get my head around snacking between trying to have 3 small meals a day, plus my liquid with my protein powder. I physically can't fit more in. And that's exactly pretty standard in that 2 weeks after surgery. So it's time and healing and adjustment, and you'll find that you will, it is a juggle, and it must be such a lot to get your head around in the first little while, where you've got all this stuff that needs to go in, and it's actually fitting it in that's tricky. So we find out all these tricks. Janine says, are low carb, high protein bars like the Atkins bars or protein balls really a good choice? I always look at the ingredients, and I got to say, I do like those Atkins chocolate and coconut bar, and they call it a protein bar. It's more a keto bar, and there's no problem with that. It's just what it's made of. I read the label, and it's got lots of ingredients in it. And I think they're good for once a week if you're busy or that sort of thing, but I don't think I would include it as a daily, this is what I do for protein, because often those Atkins bars have only got sort of not that much protein. I think the coconut one's only got about 7 or 8 grams of protein in it, and it's a bar, and the rest of it is I don't know what. So it's looking at that closely. I know they're low carb, and they're good, but they're not food. And I think ideally we're looking at coming up with ways of eating food. And I think you could have an Atkins bar, or you could have like some sliced turkey, or some shredded chicken and some veggies or something like that, and that you'd be much better off with that. However, they do have their place when you're busy. I understand that. Protein balls, like I said, just make sure they're not just dates rolled in coconut. And you can make your own, and then you know what's in there. Then you can add nuts, protein powder. A lot of them don't have protein powder added to them. They're just a nut with dates and some stuff to stick it together with. I stick mine together with tahini because it's high in calcium, and it's yummy and it's sticky. Then Averly says the first 3 I do every day. That would be dairy, protein, and the next one. And carbs occasionally. If I'm at a point in my journey now where I feel like a cookie or some chocolate, I'll have it with zero guilt. Good work. Zero guilt. And some days I only snack once, and it changes every day. And it's interesting. I was talking to someone the other day who was about 4 years out, and still it's different. They can fit all their breakfast in one day and not the next. So you just have to go with what's in front of you, and make the best choices that you can. Nettie says, I can't do peanuts or peanut butter anymore. Makes me nauseous. That's an interesting one. Trying to think why that would be. And I wonder if you've tried just the actual health food shop peanut butter. Peanuts can disagree with people. They can have quite a high level of like mold and that sort of stuff. So they are one to watch, and they go rancid, I think, a bit faster than other nuts do. Sharon has got it. Oh, here's the questions for the week. I'm going to see if I can find your questions from tonight. I was having such a shocking, I'm not very good with technology. I think you probably picked that up if you worked with me for long enough. Got 25 comments here. How much protein? Judy's asking, how much protein should we have per day? Really depends on you. We talk about 0.9 grams to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of your ideal weight. So if your ideal weight is 80 kilos, you could basically say you're looking at 70 or 80 grams of protein per day. If you're really active, you need more. but yeah, that's roughly the 0.9 grams per ideal weight is ideal. If you're active and you're doing lots of exercise and weight training and stuff like that, you'll need even more. So it depends on you. Always check in with your dietitian and get them to have a look at your energy needs. So what's the best snacks? Renee's asking what the best snacks are for a soft diet. That's a good question. On my feet, I would say have a look at our bariatric recipes tab on our website and you'll find heaps of ideas in there. We've got an actual whole book for the puree and soft stages, and there's heaps of foods in there. Snacking, I would, well, in that kind of stage when meals are really tiny, I would even just, if there's leftover of what you had for the meal, you could make that into a snack as well. So it doesn't have to be different all the time. Or even, 12 months post and you've had your lunch, but you didn't fit it all in, I would be tempted to use that as the next snack, because that's good food rather than looking for a snack idea. So it doesn't always have to be snacky food. It could be, breakfast food or food that you had for lunch, just another smaller portion of it. So snack is just a smaller serving. There's 26 comments here and I can see 5. So I don't know why I'm doing it wrong. And so I will move on to other questions. And then after I finish the live, I always go back to your comments. So if you need me to cover anything else, I'll always reply in the comments below. And if you want any more information on anything else, just let us know. So here's the question. Sharon's asking, I'd like to make my own protein balls and chuck in all sorts of goodies. What's the best free app to use to work out nutrients, protein, etc.? That's a tough one, because I don't think there's many free ones that would be accurate. And then sometimes you're sent down the garden path. Let me have a little bit of a look around before I give you a bum steer. And I'll see if I can post something in the group during the week. And that's, we didn't have many questions last week. So ask some more questions. And we're showcasing snacking. So this week's news, there's a big how to snack guide. And there's also some great recipes for snacking and high protein options as well. So don't miss that, comes out on Wednesday. So this week we've got, I've got to show you this. This is pretty cool. This is our new, it always disappears. This is new, and this is the prize for this week, Transformation Tuesday. It's, I think they're very attractive little insulated with a spoon in the top and little insulated snack box, I'm going to call that. I don't know what they've called it on the website. I think they went up on the website today, but they're nice. They're smooth and they're steel on the inside, so they're not going to give you any nasties in your meals. There's green, there's blue and white. And white, is all right. So if you win tonight, Transformation Tuesday, you win one of these. And if you win and I call your name out, could you please send us an email to support@bnmulti.com. Now, I'm going to push the envelope here and share my screen again. Watch out. Here we go. Share screen. One participant at a time. Oh, come on, this thing. No. Here we go. We're sharing. So we're going to share this screen and this screen. Yay, look at that. So Melissa Russell Porritt, 1 year ago today since sleeve surgery, and I've never looked back. 120.5 kg on the way to the hospital, and now I'm 78 kilos. And celebrating my youngest 18th birthday, I'm now 54. My goal weight back in October 2020 was 80 kg, and I've been maintaining that ever since. I've attended Reformer Pilates 2 to 3 times a week, and I walk about 4 to 5 hours a week in total. That's amazing. I've gone from drinking 2 or 3 litres of Pepsi Max pre-surgery to none, which I never thought I would have. had the willpower to do. P.S. Put the money aside that I would have spent on Pepsi and saved enough to purchase a whole new wardrobe. That's amazing. Well done. Look at the photos, and it's so good you're able to see it. Amazing progress. And would you have ever thought you'd be walking 4 or 5 hours a week and going to Pilates a few times? It's incredible. So good work, Melissa. You'll be able to take your snacks to Pilates with you. So send us an email at support@BN Multi. And then second winner, look at this great photo, is Loretta Burke. I'm 6 months post revision surgery, sleeve to bypass. It's been slow and difficult at times, but I've been focusing on creating good habits and creating a life that encompasses healthy behaviors. Not easy. I also took a massive leap and joined a triathlon club. I won a silver medal in my first ever race. So for me, while the weight loss is slow, I'm loving the journey and the creation of the best version of me. Like, far out from that position of having 2 surgeries, 2 triathlons. That's incredible. So we're so proud of you. And today they sent me a whole compilation of all the BN inspired stories that everyone, we want a story from everyone, is sending in with their journey and, you know, why they ended up needing weight loss surgery and what it means to them and how it's benefited. And so we're compiling all of those together and putting a BN inspired tab on our website so that people who are looking around going, oh, should I or shouldn't I, will you know, they see that it's actually something that's attainable, and people are doing some incredible things. So keep sharing. And please, if you'd like to be one of our BN inspired stories, all you do is, it's just a form we send out to you. You fill it out with your story, which isn't hard because you know it really well. Whether it's been easy or hard or tricky or fun or, you know, catastrophic, it's nice to get that kind of combination of input from the team. So please do be one of our BN Inspirers, and I think we'll be posting them up in the next couple of weeks on the website. So I will get back to other questions. Here we go. I can find the questions, then they disappear. Hi there, I'm 5 weeks post-op and I'm struggling to get the multivitamins and calcium in. The chewables make me gag and I can't swallow tablets. So you can dilute the chewables in juice. That's how we get around that when you don't want to take them. The gag reflex, when that's overactive, there's a whole other story that goes with that. And you might want to just Google up vagus nerve, toning the vagus nerve, because that's part of why your gag is overactive. And once you get past that, you'll be able to do whatever you need to do. So it's looking at maybe 50 or 60 mils of juice and stick your chewable multi in it. You can break it up into a couple of pieces and stick it in the juice. It'll take a couple of hours to dissolve, but then you just drink it. That's the way to go. The calcium is a chewable because it's the best uptake. Sometimes you just have to, I mean, you've only 5 weeks in, so most things are a struggle. And I do say that it's not forever that this would be the case. Things do change and you do need to keep trying to make sure that you're getting everything you need. But yeah, it's early days and things are certainly still definitely healing and settling. So this situation is probably something that'll pass you by, but just keep persisting if you can. The other alternative is we always offer a swap. So if the chewables aren't working for you in this way, you can send them back to us and we'll replace them with capsules, and those you can open into yogurt or something like that and just spoon it onto a spoon and eat it. Well, drink it down basically. Then you're not swallowing a big tablet. So that's another workaround, but you need to split them open for the first probably couple of months after surgery just to make sure you're absorbing everything. Then once you progress past that stage, if you want to take the capsules, you can, or if you can't swallow capsules, you can always just split it open every single time forever. But that's the workarounds. If, as far as the chewables go, they're soluble enough that they'll dissolve. It's not like effervescent, but it will take a little bit of time, but that's the workaround. Tennille says she's struggling with ideas for breakfast. I think we've got a stack of recipes on our website for brekkie, so check out the it's bariatric recipes tab, and there's 100,000 recipes in there. It's probably not 100,000, but brekkie, great. Eggs will do the job every time. Or things like, I don't know why we don't eat meat for breakfast. Other countries do it. Omelette, things like that. What else do we have for brekkie? Yogurt. Oh, I've been making a yogurt, basically 150 grams of yogurt, just pure, then just put some frozen mango in it, a little bit of water to thin it out and just blitz it. And that's great brekkie. You could put some good fats in there too if you wanted to. Keep it simple. It's just food, basic. And we're in such a hurry. Who thinks about it? Just put it in. It's yummy. So I think that's it. I've answered those questions. If there's any more, I'll be able to see them once I turn off the video. Stick around for the week, because we're talking snacking, and we are talking next week, we're talking reflux and digestive system and gut health and that sort of thing. So stick around for that. Don't miss the newsletter on Wednesday. I think that's all. I've covered everything. If I haven't, I'll post it in the group. Thanks. Oh, make sure you ask your questions in the group. Have a lovely week. Bye. Oh, technology, kill me now. You're stuck with me. I can't even shut the Zoom. It won't let me do it. Is Mercury in retrograde? Let me see down here. Turn it off. Turn it off. End meeting for all. Bye.